welcome you guys to this beautiful morning. You guys can see not a single ripple on the water besides our boat trail, and we are heading over to the spot right now. Just wanted to film this really quick and tell you what the plan is for today. So as you guys can see, we have a beautiful overcast calm morning, so that's going to call for some top water. We got two rods that we're going to throw, one with braid and then one with kind of your normal fluoro and stuff like that. And on the fluoro we are going to be throwing a spook, a popper, and maybe we'll look in the tackle box and see about a buzz bait. But on the braid, of course, we have to throw the trusty frog. I've been slaying them on the frog recently, and who doesn't love a good frog eat? But basically the plan is just to catch the biggest fish possible, hopefully a 3-pounder plus if we're lucky. But we're gonna go around, throw all sorts of top waters and take advantage of this beautiful morning. Got out a little bit late. It is already 7 o'clock, if you can believe it or not. It's just light out at 7. It's just mind-blowing to me. But we're gonna finish getting to the spot and tie on and hopefully start catching them. All right, you guys, I actually did go ahead and tied up a buzzbait first. I figured since we are truly hunting these giant bass, we're gonna go ahead and start out with a buzzbait, a little bit of a bigger profile, along with, while it's still relatively early in the morning, we're gonna see if we can catch one of these active bass. Right as I say that, something busts at the end of that dock. So we're gonna start with the buzzbait, try and cover a little bit as much water as possible. But right here on the red rod, we have ourselves the trusty frog. So once we get up to these pads up here and along that shoreline, that's probably what we're gonna be throwing into the pads, and then we'll try and work this along the outside of it. But like I said, 3-pounder is the goal today. Haven't caught one of those in a hot second, and it would definitely be nice to get back on that big fish bite. There we go. Had to come back for it twice. Get up here. Not a bad little fish. It's always a good sign when they're just choking it like that. But first one of the day. Not quite the size we're after, but hey, getting the skunk out of the boat's one of the most important things. That one kind of came, you guys can see, we've got a bunch of surface weeds, and then just as it gets closer and closer to the shore, it gets shallower and shallower. So that fish is kind of hanging out right in between those areas. Ambushed it, missed it the first time, had to do a double take on it, but eventually we got him back in the boat. There's one. Had to let him eat it for a second. Definitely a little bit bigger. Oh, yes, sir, it is. Let's boat flip them. There we go. Here we freaking go. Now this is what I'm talking about. Look at this fish. We're gonna go ahead and get him up on the other camera really quick. Here's this fish. See? Probably like a 2-pounder-ish, but beautiful topwater bass. Well, I had a sweet cinematic release, but I filmed it in vertical mode like an absolute droid. But here's what we're throwing. This is the Booyah Pad Crasher, and it's like a salt and pepper color. I'm not sure exactly what the color is, and I threw away the package, but it's a little bit of a bigger frog, but that is honestly perfect because today we are going after that big bite. I did not weigh that one, but if I had to guess, that was probably somewhere in the very high 1s to low 2s. So not big enough to weigh, because I can eyeball a bass, and that was definitely not 3 pounds. But for our second fish, we are getting very, very close. Only a couple more like that, and then we will be at our 3 pound goal, hopefully. We kind of are just continuing to make our way along the coastline, and thankfully, you know, right now I'm just trying to fish where I know there are a lot of weeds. Unfortunately, sometimes the lake comes through and sprays, so it kills off all the weeds, so the topwater fishing can be bad in certain areas. So I'm just trying to focus on the areas that I know have good weed cover, where most of these bass seem to be hiding. Now, I haven't caught anything on the buzzbait. I've thrown that, honestly, a little bit. Probably thrown it a little bit more than the frog, because some areas, you know, where there's no surface weeds, I'm gonna throw that buzzbait, try and get a strike. Just nothing. So we'll probably throw that a little bit longer, but if we don't get any bites on that, we're gonna go ahead and switch it up to the topwater spook and see if we can get a bite or two on the spook, because that is a pretty decently sized topwater. And I'll tell you, one of the worst things about spring fishing is this ugly, annoying cotton that gets all up in your rod and line, or whatever the heck it is. But sometimes it can make fishing, because it's so tough to get out. Like sometimes you can't just pull it straight out. You have to really pinch and just work it out. You guys can see this area I'm fishing is just littered in it. So we're probably gonna go ahead and just pull up and move spots, because I am not gonna wanna deal with this, because this is kinda the pain in the butt. There's one. On the spook. It's fighting like it could be a decent one, but I also only have 10-pound test on this rod. Let's see what we got. Oh man, it's actually not a bad one. All right, we're gonna boat flip them, even though it's probably a little bit risky. There we go. And he's flopping all the way down to the bottom. So what do you guys think? Pound and 4 ounces, something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and send him on back. There he goes. And let me show you what we're using now. So this is the 6 Sense spook. I went ahead and took off the buzzbait just because, you know, we threw that for around 30-40-ish minutes. Didn't even get a sniff, not one single blow up or even missed fish. And so I said, you know what, we're gonna switch it up, throw something that's big still. And I do love throwing spooks, and I figured, you know what, we'll give the spook a try. And we've been throwing this for about 10-ish minutes now, and finally got our first fish. But I mean, I do love a good spook. I love any bait where you can walk the dog action. You know, whopper plopplers and buzzbaits, I don't catch many fish on for some reason, those plopper style baits, but anything where you can really pause it and you know, work it like this, I tend to have a little bit better luck with. So we're gonna keep pushing down this way, probably head into the river here in a little bit, and then see what else we can catch. There's one. Can't tell how big he is yet. He's pulling pretty hard on that spook. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Stay down. This might be the 3-pounder we're after. I'm gonna net this one just to play it safe. Come here, buddy. There we freaking go. Yes. It's a little skinny, not quite as big as I thought, but we're still gonna go ahead, weigh it anyway, just to see how close we are to the 3 pound goal. Man, 2.7, 2.6, 2.7. Not a bad one. Here's a little bit of a better look. Only 2.6 or 7 pounds, but still not a bad one. We're gonna go ahead, get a release on this guy, and send him on back. But there we go. Man, I would have really thought that was going to be the one. You guys can see we're slowly just pushing our way down. Once we get all the way down there, we're gonna head into the river while it's still relatively calm. You guys can see there's some boaters out now. And it is supposed to be pretty hot today, so I'm really hoping that we can get that 3 pounder before it heats up. It is only about 9 o'clock, so we've been out here for just under 2 hours, but I'm not too upset with how it's going. I can't even remember what the first one was. It might have been 2 something, but the 2.6, a 2 something, and then 2 other pretty nice bass. I think that's 2 on the spook, 2 on the frog, but we're gonna go ahead and keep on fishing. Yeah, buddy, it's spook time. Fuck yeah. Turn him. How do you turn him? I'm with myself. Got him. Biggin. Gotcha. Gonna want to net this one. On the spook. All right, look at this hog. We're gonna throw this one on the scale. Three, 1. There we freaking go. 3 pounder. Here we finally go. You guys can see, beautiful, beautiful bass. We're gonna go ahead and let this girl go. There she goes.